The 48-hour curfew that was imposed in the Kingston Eastern Policing Division has been extended. The curfew continues from 6 p.m. on Monday, February 16, and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Wednesday, February 18. The boundaries of the curfew are north along an imaginary line from the mountain ridge from Mountain View Primary School to Cane River Falls, east along an imaginary line from Cane River Falls to the bridge at 10 Miles Bull Bay, south along the coastline from the bridge at 10 Miles Bull Bay to Flag Circle, and west along South Camp Road from Flag Circle to Vineyard Road onto an imaginary line to Mountain View Primary School. During the hours of the curfew, persons within the boundaries of the curfew are required to remain indoors, unless otherwise authorized by the person in charge of enforcing the curfew. St. Catherine police recover stolen vehicle valued at $1.6 million. A swift response by officers from the St. Catherine North Division led to the recovery of a stolen motor vehicle and the arrest of several suspects, including a student, early Monday morning. According to law enforcement reports, the breakthrough occurred around 5:45 a.m. on February 16. Officers acting on intelligence converged on the area near the Angels Toll Plaza exit in Spanish Town, where they intercepted a Toyota Probox. Preliminary investigations have revealed that the vehicle, which is reportedly owned by a member of the security forces, had been stolen from the Sligoville area. Following the interception, multiple individuals, among them a student, were taken into custody in connection with the incident. As of Monday afternoon, the identities of those arrested were being withheld by the police as investigations continue. The St. Catherine North Criminal Investigation Branch has cleared up the murder of Damian Dunn, a teacher and construction consultant who was brutally murdered on January 9, 2026 in Garden Pen, Spanish Town, St. Catherine.
The St. Catherine North Police is committed to maintaining law and order, the preservation of the peace, as well as to protect property and to preserve life. Now, in doing so, our hard-working operatives continue to try as best as practicable to prevent crimes from happening. But when they do, our hard-working detectives will conduct thorough investigations in order to bring closure within a reasonable time to these crimes when they do occur. Now, on Friday, January 9th, 2026, Damian Dunn, he's a teacher as well as a construction consultant. He was shot and killed in the Garden Pen community of Spanish Town. Now, this murder was the first murder recorded in St. Catherine North for the year 2026, and immediately our detectives commenced investigation into this murder, which led to the arrest of 3 men. Now, the 3 men were charged with the following offenses: murder, possession of a prohibited weapon, conspiracy to murder, being a part of a criminal organization, as well as using a firearm to commit a scheduled offense. The men are Javarn Swimmer, otherwise known as Razor. He is from License District in the parish of St. Thomas. The other man is Wilder Edwards, also known as Twin or Rolex. He is from License in the parish of St. Thomas, and he also frequents the Westchester community. The third man is Mr. Tyreek Fennell, also known as Six. He is from a Palmer's Cross address in the parish of Clarendon. Now, while the investigation continues, we just want to remind the law-abiding citizens in St. Catherine North, as well as those who pass through this division, that they can count on the police to ensure that the spaces which they traverse are safe to raise families, to do business, and to go about their business is unimpeded. We just solicit the cooperation of the law-abiding citizens so that the area can remain free of crime, and also the opportunities for criminals to commit crime will be significantly reduced.
The police in St. Elizabeth are searching for 13 wanted men and 10 persons of interest in connection with alleged crimes including murder and rape. The men are also being sought in connection with alleged incest, arson, and sexual intercourse with a person under 16. At least one case of alleged buggery and 2 instances of escaping custody are also among the cases. The push to get them is part of efforts by cops to maintain a 20% reduction in murders in the parish, which, according to Superintendent Coleridge Minto, tells him that the people in the community want peace. In the meantime, the men listed as wanted in St. Elizabeth are being urged to turn themselves into the Black River CIB immediately. Cops are also urging the public to pass on any information about their whereabouts. The St. Elizabeth wanted persons are Anward Hines, otherwise called Kirky, of Claremont, Newmarket in St. Elizabeth, Maroon Town, and George Reed in Manchester, who escaped custody. Derek Robinson, otherwise called O'Keefe, of Leesland Houghton District, who is wanted for murder. Jackson Gale, otherwise called Randy Gale, and Short Man of Retirement Road, Santa Cruz, who is wanted for murder. Aldane Bailey, otherwise called CK, of Union District, Balaclava, who is wanted for buggery. Javon Sims of Copper District, St. James, who escaped custody. Oral Cole of Breezy Hole Comfort, Manchester, who escaped custody. Lincoln Farquharson, who is wanted for rape and grievous sexual assault. Paul Smith, who is wanted for rape. Merrick Parchment, wanted for rape and incest. Jerry Lee Black, wanted for fraudulent conversion. Matthew Campbell, wanted for arson. Rushane Abrahams, otherwise called Biggie, who is wanted for rape. And David Pottinger of Goshen District, who is wanted for sexual intercourse with a person under 16. Meanwhile, the persons of interest are a man known only as Merryman, who frequents Aberdeen District, Orette Davis, who frequents Carisbrook, Verton Salmon, who frequents Southampton District, Andre Blackwood, who frequents Windsor District, a man known only as Kimmel, who frequents Rockland, Shakira White, otherwise called Lizard, and frequents Spring Park District, Jaden Witter, who frequents Bottom Pond District, Bartley Solomon, otherwise called Shota, and frequents Hodges Land District, Keshith Bennett, who frequents Ambrook Lane in Kingston, and Romano Salmon, otherwise called Budum, who frequents Hodges Land District. On Monday, defense attorneys cross-examined a senior homicide investigator during the Clansman gang trial, questioning his handling of information related to a 2017 murder case. The case pertains to the murder of George Richards, which is the subject of the 32-count indictment before the court. The defense attempted to discredit the investigator's note-taking abilities.
The senior investigator is the Crown's 6th witness. He testified about his role in the investigation into the September 2017 murder of George Richards on Roger Avenue in the Fairfield Park community of Spanish Town, St. Catherine. The witness said he spent about an hour and a half at the scene recording details and receiving information before proceeding to the Spanish Town Hospital. At the hospital, the witness testified that he identified the body of a deceased male, noting there were clear signs that life was extinct. The witness said photographs were taken and the body was sealed, after which he started the murder investigation. When asked whether he had identified any suspects during the investigation, the witness said he had not identified any. Under cross-examination, defense attorney Kamar Robinson posed the question again to the witness. But he maintained that he had not identified a suspect to date. He previously testified that as an experienced investigator, he took copious notes regarding the murder. The witness was shown his notebook in court, which contained information about possible suspects. Initially, he said the page before the court did not clearly show names of suspects linked to the Richards murder. After being shown the adjoining page in his notebook, The witness acknowledged that the page containing possible suspects could be related to the murder of George Richards, but said he was reluctant to be definitive because the notes were limited and lacked detailed context. He explained that when information comes in, he records it for further analysis and does not want to mislead the court if he's uncertain. Further questioning sought to establish whether the notes were a continuation from previous pages and whether they related specifically to the Richards murder. The witness disagreed, explaining that his note-taking is not necessarily chronological and depends on how information is received. The witness also denied that defendants Lamar Rowe and Dwayne Frater were ever listed as a suspect in his notes. Rowe and Frater are charged for the murder of Richards.
Mother killed, daughter injured in attack at Portmore home. A tranquil morning in a Brayton community was shattered on Tuesday following a violent attack that claimed the life of a mother and left her daughter injured. The suspect, described by authorities as a man believed to be of unsound mind, was apprehended by residents shortly after the incident. The Jamaica Constabulary Force has confirmed that the incident unfolded shortly after 9 a.m. at the family's residence. Upon arrival at the scene, responding officers discovered the lifeless body of the mother, who had succumbed to her injuries. Her daughter, who sustained injuries during the assault, was rushed to a medical facility for treatment. Her condition has not yet been disclosed. Following the attack, the suspect fled the scene, but was pursued and held by members of the community in a nearby section of Brayton. He was later turned over to the police, who have since taken him into custody. As of press time, law enforcement officials had not released details regarding the weapon used in the deadly assault. The area was processed for evidence as investigators worked to piece together the events that led to the tragedy. The police have launched a full investigation into the matter. Further details are expected to be released as the inquiry progresses.
Spragga Benz. Born Carlton Grant, this Jamaican artist is way more than a DJ. He's a legend. Back in the 90s, Spragga Benz became super famous. People all over the world loved his unique sound. With his rough voice and exciting shows, he earned the nickname the Dancehall General. He mixes dancehall, reggae and hip-hop, singing about what life is really like in Jamaica. And guess what? Spragga Benz is also a good actor. You might have seen him in the Jamaican movie Shotters. Spragga Benz was born in Kingston, Jamaica. He grew up on the tough streets of the city. Music helped him escape the hard times. He started out as a selector, practicing his skills at local sound systems. But he was too good to just be a selector. He started making his own music and first sang on a song called The Bully Spark Riddim. That's when he started becoming a big name in music. In the early 90s, Spragga Benz became a star. His song Love Me Gun made him famous. Everyone loved that song and it showed everyone how talented he was. Then he made even more hits like Jack It Up, Coulda Deal, and multiple other hit songs follows. These songs made him a dancehall superstar. He sang about real stuff, problems in the world, love and life in the ghetto. He became the voice of young people. Spragga Benz's music wasn't just for Jamaica. He went on lots of tours, sharing his music all over the world. From the Caribbean to North America, Europe and even Japan, his exciting shows made fans go wild. Everyone knew his rough voice and fast lyrics, and he had cool style too. He often wore a bandana and sunglasses. He had a cool confidence that everyone loved. But later in his career he became more mature and conscious when he took on the Rastafarian faith and started growing his dreadlocks.